Now for question number 6, part 1 and part 2, I leave it to you. Let's look at question number 6, part 3. For question number 6, part 3, we look at the number pattern that is given to us. So the pattern that is given to us is half square plus 1/3 square, so on and so forth. So if you look closer into this series, you realize that each term is actually expressible as 1 over r squared. Okay, but if I were to write it this way, okay, I'm starting to sum from half square. So if I'm starting to sum from half square, this sum will be expressible, this infinite sum will be expressible as r starting from 2, 1 over r squared. So look at what we have found earlier on. What we have found earlier on was the sum of 1 over r plus 1, r starting from 1. So if we were to express as 1 over r squared, it is harder for us to compare these two series because r begins from a different number. So it is not advisable to put it as 1 over r squared. Okay, so this one not advisable. So if that's the case, what should we do? Okay, what should we do? Now, so there are different ways to write down or express a series. Instead of writing this, we can write it as starting from 1 to infinity 1 over r plus 1 squared. Right? So this is a different way to write it. So let us just compare the term 1 over r plus 1 squared versus 1 over r plus 1. Now, which term is bigger? So you notice that the denominator here is larger than the denominator r plus 1. So if the denominator is larger, when you reciprocate it, it becomes smaller. So since each of the term is smaller than 1 over r plus 1, when I sum up the terms from r equals to 1 to 2n of 1 over r plus 1 squared, it is smaller than the sum r equals to 1 to 2n 1 over r plus 1. Have we found the term on the right hand side already, the series on the right hand side? This sum is equals to 1 minus 1 over 2n plus 1. So we note that n, since n is always greater than or equals to 1, then we know that because of that, okay, 1 over 2n plus 1 is a positive number. Okay, so if it is a positive number, the term on the right hand side, 1 minus 1 over 2n plus 1, is always smaller than 1. So hence, we know that r plus 1, sum of 1 over r plus 1 squared from r equals to 1 to 2n is smaller than 1. This is shown.